hello, hello, hello. How is everyone tonight? Let me add this to my view. If you would like to join my VIP group, I would love to have you join. I'm going to add some cyber sales for next week, and you can get some VIP discounts in there. So if you want to join that, comment me in the comments below and I will get you added. Also, thanks for, like I say, joining me. Let's get started on my project. So tonight we're using some craft cardstock, and it's 8.5 by 11. Let me do the switcher view, so hold on so you can see that. Okay, now we're in switcher view. So you should be able to see my table. Anyway, the cardstock is 8.5 by 11, and you cut it in 4-inch strips, and you'll have a little piece left over at the end. And this color is called Craft. We will be using that and a scoreboard. And this is a small scoreboard. There's different sizes. There's also 12-inch scoreboards. So I'm going to line that up to the top and in this corner right here. And I'm going to take it at the number 4 and I'm going to make a score. And then I'll set my scoreboard aside, and I'm going to crease this on the score line. So we have the first part of our table setting all cut. Now the next thing you're going to need is a piece of this burlap paper, and let me show you that. Here's the burlap paper, and it is just, the whole pack is just burlap. So it's a fun pack to have, and you will cut some strips on that, and the strips will still be 4 inches, and then you'll cut little 4-inch squares. Now this burlap paper is a little hard to cut, so it's better to use either a razor knife or a rotary cutter with a ruler, and it will cut real nicely for you if you do that. Now I have my fine tip glue gun plugged in, and I like this because it runs a fine bead. And I'm going to put glue there on each side, the left and the right. And then I'm going to fold it over where the score line was, and I'm going to seal that shut. That will make a pocket now, so you can put your silverware in there. Now I'm going to take this square and I'm going to add some bead of glue around that. And then I'm going to stick that on my top of my silverware holder. And we have that part ready, and we'll continue on to the next step. So the next step, we'll be using the silk screen transfers. let me show you the images that we will be using in that. Hold on, and I'll take you out of this view and get you to a new view. So this one's called Holiday Mini Icons, and that it will be for sale in my VIP group at a discount. And so if you want this one, be sure to comment me so I can add you to that group. Then we have the Home for Holidays. And this is the camper series. So this is another fun set. This is a more expensive set, and I will not be offering this, but if you want this, you can let me know. You could also use some cardstock for this step if you didn't want to use this. Buffalo plaid is very popular right now, so I wanted to use this because we're out of the actual buffalo plaid silk screen transfer right now. So let me put you back on multi-view so you can view the table. There, I'm in the corner again. Now I can show you these transfers. So this is the camper one with the buffalo plaid, and so this was way fun, and I'm just using a little section of that for my project. And then here's the Holiday Mini Icons. We have the ho ho ho, we have the gloves, we have the peace, we have the snowflake, we have the two-part package, we have the tree, we have the joy. There's 2 candy canes in 2 different sizes. There's some bells and a dove, and they're all way cute. For today's project, I'm just going to use the ho 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 to show you, and I will be using the camper add-on. So let's start with the camper add-on, and I'm gonna I started with the corner, but I'm gonna peel it from the middle because it's better to grab it from the middle. And I will pull this off of my backing. On the back of this, I have written camper on it. That way I know this is the back side of my paper, and the front side is shiny. I don't know if you can see that, but it has a sheen, and that's where you'd adhere your silk screen back to. These silk screens are usable lots of times, and if you haven't seen these before, when you first get them, you're going to want to put them on a towel, and you're going to want to fuzz them. This one has been fuzzed, and it's been used many a time, so it doesn't need to be fuzzed, but you're going to want to fuzz them 2 or 3 times and then use them. So then I'll position this where I'm seeing if you can see it, and I have cut a piece of heavy white cardstock, and you'll just measure whatever size you want. I measured it to fit the inside of this, and so I'm going to lift this up, and I've got my silicone mat underneath this, so it's not sticking to it. It's a nice mat because it doesn't stick. So I'm getting that lined up. It's not quite where I want it. That's better. Now I'm going to take my chalk paste, and the color I'm going to use for this is Peacock. I have a lot of blue in my house, and this is a color that I've used, so I'm going to use this. Now you want your paste to be pretty much like cake batter. So I'm going to mix this and we're going to see what it seems like. And actually this is pretty good on this one. So when we get to the red, we'll see what that's like. And if it's not good, you want to spritz it. And I'll show you that step in a minute. So I'm going to take my chalk paste and I'm going to just run it across. Like I say, in my opinion, thinner is a little better because it goes on smoother. And plus our paste dry pretty fast. So you want to move as quickly as you can, and then you want to take off any excess and put it in the jar. This is just a piece of our squeegee. We do sell bigger squeegees than that, but that's a piece that's been cut in half. So yeah, this was the Chalkology Paste Peacock that I used on that. Now I'm going to lift this up. And as you can see, I was able to get my print on there. That's exactly what I wanted. And normally you would take this and go run this in the water and rinse that off good. Also, this is a wonderful thing. They're called board erasers. You can use that on the board to erase your chalk because it's reusable. But you can also use it on your silkscreen transfers when you're running the cold water over it, and it just helps clean it up tremendously. And these work much better than the ones you can buy in the store. They're made just for our product. So, since I don't have a water bath here and I don't want to worry about watering it right now and cleaning it up and taking that time, I'm just going to set it aside on my towel over here. If I had a lot of transfers, then I would need to do something or have a water bath for them. It's actually better not to do the water bath because the water bath lessens the weakness on the transfer, so, and that they don't seem to last as long. So I like not to put them in that. I did on my first video that I did that was way long, the one I was learning on, and it was just more a practice run. So now we're going to take this Ho 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 transfer, silkscreen transfer, and I'm peeling off the backing again, grabbing it from the middle and peeling it back. And I've cut a piece of chalk cardstock, and I'll show you that. But let me get this down first. Just kind of figure out where you want it, and you want to try and get the bubbles out. Okay, this is the chalk cardstock that I used. You could use black cardstock. You could use anything. This has a little bit of a rough texture, so it feels a lot like chalkboard. So from there, we'll use our candy apple red, and this is Chalkology paste too. We have lots of different colors in our Chalkology paste. So if you were going to thin this is what I like, is this little sprayer, and I squirt some sprays of that in there and use my makeup spatula. I like the long handled makeup spatulas, and you can get those anywhere. Anyway, I'll put some water in here, and I'll show you how to do this. Now remember, I said I like cake batter consistency. You could do the yogurt, but so, and even after just a half hour or so, it seems like it sets back up a bit. So the water won't hurt it one bit. So, and I'll set that aside, and now we'll put the chalk paste on this. This will go really fast. See how smooth the red just wipes on there, because it's such a good consistency. So, and then you just wipe off the excess, put it back in your jar, because you want to use this as many times as you can. Looks like there might be a tiny spot at the top. Okay. So now I'll set that aside. I'm going to close my lid on this again. So, and this was our Chalkology paste and candy apple red is what we used here. So now I will take this and I will start at the corner, but I want to just mostly work from the center, and I will pull that off to the side. Now, this is another one that I normally would go wash, but I will set it over here on my towel. You want to make certain that your transfers don't touch each other, or that the sticky stuff doesn't touch together. And if it does, then you have to take it and run it under water to try and get it unstuck. So I have my ho-ho-ho, and I have my buffalo plaid transfer, and I'm ready to move on to the next step here. Now I'm just going to take my glue gun, and I'm just going to run a bead of glue around this and stick it on the top part. You could put it anywhere you desire, but I liked it on the top, so I decided to do the top. Now, I have some other ones that I made earlier, and they have my score line. I ran these through my die cut machine. So, and this last one I didn't run through the die cut machine, but a lot of you don't have die cut machines, so you could cut it and it's not going to look that much difference. I just like to have the little extra cut with the die cut. So what I'm going to do is glue this on. If you notice, all of this chalk has dried really quickly. If I needed to dry it, I would use my little hair dryer or my hot gun. So there's that, and we are ready to move on to the next step. Our next step calls for some twine, baker's twine, or you could use ribbon. If you don't have baker's twine and you want to use ribbon, you could do that. So I'm going to turn it sideways for a minute because that's easiest for me to tie this knot with. And I try to not waste much. So I try to keep it about the size I want it. And then I tie it. And then I'll cut it here. And since that unraveled just a little bit, I'll cut it there. And now I'm ready for my last step, and I'll show you what we use in those. The last step calls for these bells, and they're red and green ones. And you can get these anywhere. These are small bells. You could decide what size you want. These are the bells that I have used. So we'll put some glue here. We'll add a green and a red one. And that finishes this project. Look how cute that turned out. And that will make a cute table setting when you have your guests come over for any kind of a dinner that you might do, or a Christmas thing with your family. Now let me show you how these turned out. So we have the ho 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 one here. And we have the cute snowflake, the cute Christmas tree, the cute piece, and the bells. We have the package one, and we have the cute joy one. Now another thing I could tell you about is piece transfer. I don't know if you can see these little dots here, but they were really close. And instead of spending the time to use my squeegee on that, I went ahead and got this. I have these cotton applicators, and they are dual tipped, and they come from a beauty supply. But one end is pointed and one end is flat and round. And I used the pointed ends and looked where the dots went, and I just dipped it in and dotted it in those spots. That was so much easier. So that finishes this live, and I hope you enjoyed this fun project. And if you would like to join my group, comment me below and let me know, and I can add you to the group for my specials that we have. And remember, I'm doing some cyber specials this next week. Also, if you just want to purchase, you can purchase from my site. And it's chalkcouture.com/Arkon Arlana Patton. If you want to be added to an opportunity group, if you want to learn more about Chalk Couture, then you can send me a message about that and type join, and I can add you to a group once I get that going. And please share and subscribe to this video, and I hope to see you soon on my next live video, and thanks for watching.